phase.
Oh,
Did you see The Strangers Chapter 1? I had to do it right.
got to do this right.
If I'm gonna do it, I got to do it right. Let's see here,
Ladies and gentlemen, returning, from his assignment.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, this is a big surprise. I didn't know he was going to show up, but from the upcoming movie, Black Cab, here's Nick Frost, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
It's just an automatic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. Why I don't have to run day. It's just an automatic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. It's just an automatic Monday.
If you want to become a member, check out our webpage at deathcursesociety.com and click on the membership tab. You could join for the cost of a couple of pre-rolls a month.
Right. But before we get to all that, let's thank our members, of course. Our special thanks to our final girls and guys, Chris, Lorena, BD, and Tyrone.
Hold on. I have to say, happy birthday to BD Mags today.
Ooh, happy birthday, BD.
Happy birthday.
4 years old. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, sir. I may be up there, and we'll share a celebratory drink at some point in July, hopefully. So,
Yes.
that's the goal, anyway. Hopefully, it's on the way from and to something, or I may just show up there anyway. Depends. So, anyway. Happy birthday, BD. Special thanks also to our Crazy Ralphs, Bell's Fancy Creations, Dr. Smiley, Raymond, and the whole damn enchilada pod. And, of course, our camp counselors, 42nd Street Pete, Corey, Luke, Jimmy and Rachel, Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Patricia, Kristen, and JJ.
Oh, we got to slide back up there. Wow.
I hope you folks have seen The Strangers Chapter 1. We are going to keep the spoilers, hopefully nearish the end. Somebody already dipped as soon as I said that. Phase. Did you see The Strangers Chapter 1? I had to do it right.
Got to do this right.
If I'm gonna do it, I got to do it right. Let's see here,
ladies and gentlemen, returning, from his assignment.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, this is a big surprise. I didn't know he was going to show up, but from the upcoming movie, Black Cab, here's Nick Frost, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
What's up, Colonel?
Man?
What's up?
Welcome back. You sound good.
Thank you.
Colonel, did you get to see The Strangers Chapter 1?
I wouldn't be here if I didn't.
All right. I didn't know. Oh, good. You showed up just in time, because we're getting into the before the movie came out. We knew it was coming. We know it's a trilogy. We know Renny Harlin's involved in it. Let's get into anticipation of the movie. And fuck, this is a special occasion. We'll start with Colonel.
Anticipation. Boys, I anticipating this movie? Fuck no. I went into this movie with the lowest of fucking low expectations. Which is a good thing, honestly. Because it beat my expectations when I was walking out of the theater Saturday night. I was like, all right. I probably should have done a little more research and looked at the title a little bit closer. Because, to be honest with you, at that point, I was waiting for Tommy to come out from behind the door wearing the Roy mask with a knife up. Not realizing I was getting a fucking trilogy. I was like, wait a minute. Oh.
Yeah.
Could have paid a little more attention to the fucking title. But, yeah. Spoiler alert. Sorry. I didn't go fucking far. Just, if you haven't seen it, stick around. There's a bonus scene. There you go.
Right.
Isn't much.
It's not much, but...
Not much at all.
But it does, I think, kind of set up where it's going.
Yes.
Quite well.
It does a great fucking job doing that.
And I think that would be, we'll get into it, but I think that'll be interesting. So, Ziggy, what about you? Anticipation.
There was a ton of confusion going into this because people were saying this is a prequel to The Strangers. No. This is a sequel. No. This is a fresh trilogy is what this is. This is a reboot is what this is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is. And so I'll forgive them for kind of doing the same first movie again. But I did kind of dig it too, the way they did it and set up a couple of things, which is obviously going to be different from what they did with any of the other Stranger sequels that have happened, you know? So it's going to be a trilogy tied into these characters, and I'm cool with that. I guess we'll get a lot more explanation. But, I mean, going into it, I was with you guys, man. I didn't really give a crap. I didn't care, man. I was like, this has been done before, and I do appreciate these movies grounded in reality. You know this about me. And so at least I had that. But I kept it kind of tempered my expectations on it. And I also exceeded that a little bit.
I had done a little bit of reading about what was going on here. I did like the idea that they said it was a trilogy ahead of time. I did like the idea that they filmed all of it at once over like a 52-day span, which cool. If you're going to do a trilogy, that's the way to do it. If you know you're going to do a trilogy anyway, that's the way to do it. The thing that I was worried about was that the trilogy, you could have almost started like with chapter 2 and just start from there. You know, maybe reshoot the ending of the 2008 Strangers and then tack that onto the beginning as like a little preamble or whatever. Recast it, obviously, and reshoot those few scenes and then move into the second part. That's what I was worried about with this, because it's basically the exact same fucking movie except for very, very minor detail changes, and that's it. And that drove me nuts.
I wonder if those subtleties will be enough to make it a point as the series progresses, you know? Because if they did it like that, if they left it like that on purpose, then I dig that. That's cool, because everyone's like, okay, and now they're going to blow us away with what the next 2 chapters have. Great. I love a surprise.
Well, and there's going to be people that go to see this movie that don't know about the 2008 movie. So, I mean, the person I went with on Thursday night, he didn't know. He said, well, I'm going to go home right now and watch it. And I was like, give it a couple days. You know, don't do it like back to back. Give it a couple of days just to let this one soak in, because you're literally going to watch pretty much the exact same movie.
Liv Tyler.
But with Liv Tyler.
And with Dennis from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Don't leave Dennis out, damn it.
But yeah, I think the anticipation on this one was, as Colonel said, very low, because I was afraid it was going to be too similar to the original film, and it was. FaZe, anything to add on anticipation?
Not much. You kind of covered it pretty well. I went in pretty much the same. 0 expectations. All I've heard was, this movie sucks. This is garbage. This is horrible. I've heard no good reviews from anybody.
Huh.
And what do you know? That was about right. I didn't know there was a post-credit scene, though, that Colonel mentioned. I bolted right out of there.
Oh, did you miss it?
I don't know about your theater phase, but here's the trick. All right, if the lights come up, no bonus scene. If they stay down, sit your ass down and wait.
Okay, I haven't really thought about that.
I was standing when the scene came on, but that's because my buddy that I went with was kind of in a hurry to get out of there. So.
Nobody else was getting up to leave either. That should have been my other side.
I'm hip to same here. The lights stay off if there's something there.
I'll keep that
Normally that's the case, yeah. I think that's a standard, theater rule.
Well, speaking of theater, you guys want to hear something awesome? So it was like 87 degrees outside fucking Saturday.
Oh no.
My theater was 83 fucking degrees. I know because I looked at got up and looked at the thermostat, went on full blown dad, like, what the fuck? Why does it say 82, 3 fucking degrees? The one time I've ever went back during the movie, I was like, man, it's fucking hot as hell in there. Can you guys take a look at this? I was sweating my ass off, man. Bullshit. I'm too fat for that.
That would I would have left.
Oh,
I wouldn't have been able to do it.
mine was frosty. I had to put my hoodie back on.
Shit, I was taking my fucking pop, rubbing it against my forehead, like, whew,
Oof.
just to cool down.
Hmm.
And
Nice.
I had a cherry icy to go along with it, too.
Well, no wonder you were chilly. All right. Well, so anticipation low. Let's talk about walking out of the theater. Initial thoughts, Ziggy.
It's pretty polished and as cliche and redone and retreaded as this thing has been, there are some pretty damn good moments of stalking if you're into that kind of thing in this. So I was a bit like, I was thinking a 5, and then I think I walked out a little higher than that. You know, we'll see.
You went in with a preconceived score of a 5?
I was just right away kind of like, knowing what this is where I'm going to start it, you know, just kind of let it go from here. That's common for me.
Fair enough.
Obviously, you can see this shit can fall down to a 2 if it, you know, if it sucks.
Very easily. How about you, Colonel? Initial thoughts walking out.
Like I said, pleasantly surprised. Yes, it was the same film as 2008's The Strangers. It really was. Like, I don't know if it was a remake of Psycho with Vince Vaughn where it's literally like fucking word for word, scene for scene. It's not that exact,
No.
but it's pretty fucking close. But they did a good job of building the tension.
Yeah.
I thought they did a really good job with that. Zag is real polished. I mean, there was times I was watching it, I was just looking for this fucking mask in the background. Like, all right, where are they at? Where are they at? Where are they at? Where are they at?
Very cool with
Yeah.
that, dude. Very cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, they kept your attention, whether it's obvious or not. And but man, by the end, I was like, let's wrap it up. Like, I'm fucking done. Let's wrap it the fuck up.
Well, and it was a short movie already. It's only 90 minutes.
I know, but at least with the first one, they're smart enough to keep it shorter than that.
Right.
I was like, fuck, let's go.
I was kind of sitting there. I wanted them to get on with it too, I think. I was like, all right, you know, and I never looked at my phone. I felt compelled to a couple of times, but I never did. I was like, fuck that. And then I looked at it, I was like, oh, it's 90 minutes. All right. No wonder. Yeah, thank God.
Well, and they've kind of teased an idea that they have when they release the third one. They want to do a supercut of all 3 movies together. Where I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
After seeing this first one, I don't know if I can do it.
No,
I don't know if I could do it with just the first 2. And the third one was still a standalone. I'd be like,
I'll commit to the individuals, but I ain't doing no fucking Strangers marathon. Fuck that.
They have talked about it. They do.
They'll do it.
Well, because I can't remember the name of the producer, but when he got the rights to do this, he sat down and wrote like a 285-page script, which they ended up breaking off into 3 features, and that's where the idea of just doing a trilogy straight out came from. So 285 pages. That's a lot for a movie.
That's thick.
That's
like Ghostbusters 1 thick.
Yeah.
First draft. Like,
that's Christopher Nolan thick.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah, fuck.
Initially, I wasn't disappointed, but there were even shots that were almost exactly identical. You even had the 2 little Mormon kids, you know, passing out the leaflets or whatever they were. Not to offend one particular religion over another, but you know, you had those kids, and they at least served some purpose in the 2008, but Not so much in this one. They just kind of like stand there creepily in the middle of the town.
They just seem like they're in on it. You know, it's almost like a whole town Children of the Cornish kind of feel, but
Well,
we don't know yet.
right. And, well, I want to get into that too. FaZe, had you seen the original? Or do you know?
I'm not sure. I could have sworn I have, but watching this, like, there's some familiar things. Like, I feel like I have. I just don't, like, remember.
You don't remember? All right. Well, what were your initial thoughts coming out of the theater?
And, you know, I didn't hate it like I was expecting to. Like, I was expecting, like, garbage. But there were moments in this that were all right. A lot of cliches, a lot of, you know, really weird spots too. Some of the characters I really didn't like, but you know, going in with the lowest expectations possible, I went in like thinking it was okay at best. I don't know. It made me want to watch the original again because now I'm curious.
Yeah, I actually watched 1.5 of them last night. I made it about halfway through Pray at Night last night before I dozed off at 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever. But yeah, I did watch the original last night, which reestablished in my head today, you know, all the stuff that was almost exactly the same.
Sure.
You know, well, let's move on. The Arrival, Act 1. Madeline Petch's character Maya and Ryan Bone as Jeff are driving across country. Sounds like she's got a massive job opportunity somewhere in Oregon, I think, is where they were heading. Yeah. Portland. And they're dropping their lives maybe and cruising across the country. And they stop to eat. They get finished. Well, they meet some of the townsfolk in this little town. And then they go back out to the car, which of course won't start. But luckily, there's a auto shop right across the street. The guy that's there walks over and says, "I can fix your shit." Like that. Not quite like that, because that's more of a southern accent. But
Gotta order a part. No, he kind of had that southern thing going on.
he had that drawl for being in
Oregon, yeah.
Oregon or wherever they were.
Which didn't make sense, but it's like, all right.
And yeah, so they end up staying at an Airbnb and getting, you know, shoved off to the dark corners of the world and of this little world that they're in. And that reminded me, I wanted to bring up this comment. Christopher says, "The Strangers, worst housing development ever." I like that.
Yeah,
That's good.
So, what'd you think of Act 1? I'll start with FaZe, especially since you didn't remember much of the 2008.
Sure. I mean, they start off in that diner, and I mean, that's kind of where they introduce the man and his girlfriend, who neither of their names I remember, neither of them I cared to remember, because I didn't really care about either of them. I didn't really like either of them from the start, and I didn't really like either of them from the end either. But I mean, the boyfriend, he like cracks some joke. Like, God, how did it go? They were like asking him, "You've been dating her for 5 years. Why haven't you put a ring on it yet?" And he's just like, "Right now, I'm just waiting on my turkey melt."
Yeah. What are you waiting for? Right now, I'm just waiting on my turkey melt.
Yep. And nobody laughs. It's like, "Oh, tough crowd, huh?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So this guy's boring as shit. Good to know. And I don't know. And yeah, the whole cliche, everybody's staring at you. You know, you're in a small town. You're never in. They're the strangers. Everybody, you know, they're all staring at you. You're being handed religious pamphlets. So, you know, you kind of already get the vibe of this town. They should probably get out of here. But they can't, of course, because you mentioned the cars broke down.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how far you want me to go with this. I'll just throw it to Ziggy for now.
All right.
By the way, this is all her fault. She's the one that picks this Carol's Diner out in the middle of nowhere. If they could have just stuck it out another 45 fucking minutes, they would have made it to a heavier town, more populated, and none of this would have happened to them. So I just want to point that out.
Are you trying to blame Maya? What's going on here?
Well, yeah.
Are you woman blaming?
she picked the diner, dude. They were buzzing along down the freeway, about to pass this whole redneck backwoods area, and no, she had to get her food on right now. Starving.
Yeah, she couldn't wait to get to fucking Taco Bell the next exit, 3 miles of the fucking road.
Right.
That's what I do. If it's not like on the like in the little exit area, I don't go there.
Head for the
If I'm
border.
driving.
Who does go off the fucking beaten path to eat like that off the highway?
If I'm at a town, though, I will search out like little diners like
Sure.
that.
Well, yes, but
not-
if you're driving across town, I'm going to stop somewhere and get some gas where the McDonald's is connected to it, get my fucking lunch, hit the fucking road. Like,
That's right. Anyway, continue, Ziggy.
Right. But yeah,
You blame Maya. Now
I blame Maya. It's all her fault. Everything that happens to these people is her fucking fault. Of
you know,
course,
times change, Zag, okay? Just saying.
I like her though. I mean, I do like her. I kid, of course. I mean, she's not, out of all this cast, she is the most likable of the ones that you're focused on, and she's cute. I like her. I liked how she looked and everything. But her boyfriend's a dipshit with asthma that hampers their every turn, and this dumbass drops his inhaler and leaves it in purses and leaves it in cars. Dude, I have asthma. When that is a threat, when you're in that time of year, you can't be leaving that shit, dude. You will fucking die.
Yeah, he's clumsy with that fucking thing.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
That was annoying the shit out of me, man.
I want to get into that here in the next topic because that's
All
when we
right,
talk about some stuff.
yeah.
But
Well, yeah. So, they meet the cast and some of the locals who are already staring at them, as they pull up. And then, they get in the car. It's an electric start. Looks like a brand new model car. Ain't fucking starting. No push button. Ain't working. Dude walks right up. Fix the car for you. Got to order the part. Got to get it in town. I'll send Joe Bob here in the morning. He'll go get it, and we'll get it done by the afternoon, and you'll be on your way. And that's where we're at this point. The arrival.
right.
And we arrive at, you want to pick it up with the arrival over at Big Jim's cabin or whatever the fuck.
Well, no, I mean, Colonel, did you have any thoughts on Act 1? But yeah, I mean,
Whoa.
Act 1 would end when they get to the cabin and for a few minutes in there.
Well, I mean, they pretty much explain the whole plot. I'm just going to say I'm sick and tired of this fucking horror cliche of, redneck towns and everybody staring at them. It's like, we get it. We get it. It really is like that in certain small towns.
Yes, it is.
I remember being followed around to Walmart in Oneida, Tennessee one time. I mean, I was like, what the fuck? Just because I was from out, they didn't know who the fuck I was. So hell yeah, they're watching me and following me around. I get it. But I'm so sick of that cliche, man. Stop. Think of something better. Do better. Like, come on. But, no, that's not really a spoiler. I'm just going to say there's a pretty big name sitting in that fucking diner. And I'm already like, that's it. There's one. I'll just say that. So I guess I got to wait 2 more movies to find out. But
Is he signed down for all 3? Do we know?
Damn, hold on now. Wait
I
a
didn't
minute
spoil
there, Colonel.
anything. I didn't say any names.
He
I
didn't
just
say
said
any names.
I said there's
Okay.
a pretty big name sitting in the diner. That stuck out like a sore fucking thumb.
Yeah, but
you gotta-
Okay, that's fucking obvious.
All
The
you gotta do
entire-
is Google the cast list and you know who the fuck you're talking about.
the entire
Yeah, well, still.
diner is staring at them, though. Everybody, when they're walking in to sit down. Everybody.
Of course. Hell, I've experienced that myself. I'm sure you guys have too. It's just
Dude,
the same typical horror cliche, man. Like, it's just like, ugh. Think of a better way to fucking do it.
I can't remember what town it was that you guys had left and I stayed an extra day or something. Late last year. And
Atlanta.
I went, it may have been Atlanta. I can't remember right now. No, it wasn't.
No, one before that.
No.
One before that.
Anyway, I
Yeah.
can't remember where it was right now, but I went to a little like Mexican restaurant that was kind of close to the hotel that I was staying in. And yeah, I guess only regulars are allowed to come in there. But there was a actually it was Atlanta, because it was after I had changed hotels and I went to the cheaper hotel after we had left, or after you guys had left, and I went to the cheaper hotel and I went to this restaurant. And I remember because there was a security guard that frisked you when you walk into the restaurant. And I was like, okay, well, this is different, you know, for little Oklahoma white bread me. I mean, I was like a little thrown off. I was like, maybe I shouldn't be eating here, but I was fucking hungry. And it was recommended by somebody at the hotel, I think. So, but yeah, when I sat down, I mean, everybody was like looking at me. The staff, the DJ that was way too fucking loud.
Oh, I love that.
There was some, I think, a basketball game on or something on, or no, it was a football game, and everyone's just going eight. I mean, the sound of the football game is way fuck. It sounds like a nightclub in there. But every time the game would go to commercial, DJ over in the corner would start, you know, and yeah, I'm just like, I just want to eat my fucking burrito and go to bed. But yeah, it was exactly like kind of what they were going through, and I see it happen here in Stillwater too. When I'm with people, like at the club or whatever, and some rando walks in, and like all the eyes just go immediately to them, and they're like, you know, it doesn't matter who it is. If it's a beautiful girl, you know, some, you know, snooty looking guy, it doesn't matter. Everyone's just looking at him like, who the hell is this? Why are they in my spot? So that shit is very true. I mean, it's right up there. So I get that at least.
But do we not agree that it's overdone? So it's how they set up every fucking thing. Like,
but is it overdone? Because I think it happens a lot.
It's still overdone. I'm just saying. It's
All right.
literally, let's go back to 1980, Friday the 13th. Maybe we can't. It's 44 years now, man. Like, at least go into like a fucking hipster diner or something and have people look at them that way. Just give the rednecks a fucking break.
No, fuck the rednecks, man.
Have them go to like a fucking art gallery. Like, hey, does anybody know how to get to the highway?
More red herrings in a fucking Boston fish market, man.
Dude, right?
Are you gonna walk into an art gallery and ask directions?
Well, yeah.
No, you aren't.
Where's the directions to the nearest plug? Because they know where the fuck it's at.
Yeah, I didn't mind the setup. You know, it was a basic setup, but I didn't mind it. You know, the only thing I minded about it was, as Colonel alluded to, it is kind of indicating that the strangers may be some people from the town. I mean,
I won't be fucking surprised if the whole goddamn town's in on it somehow.
yeah, that does seem kind of Children of the Cornish.
Yeah.
There's too many questions though here because stop because I'm sure that's coming up later.
Well, let's chat about the characters themselves, the introductions of them, and Maya and Jeff are the two main couple. For those that don't remember, not Jeff,
My name is
Hey,
not Jeff and Beth.
Jeff's much hipper than this Jeff. Fuck.
But they were okay. Yeah, as I think Faze said, Jeff's kind of boring, but Scott Speedman in the original was not, you know, super exciting in his own right. Maya is interesting in some ways, but very typical in these movies. Now, the main thing I did not like about this couple, they mention that they've been together 5 years. They're not married. They push that in your face, but then the couple like spends the entire first 20 to 30 minutes of the movie acting like they're newly dating. Like all their conversations are little cutesy, little almost getting to know you kind of conversations, which annoyed the hell out of me.
Why did that annoy you, man? You're supposed to. You're not supposed. Like, one thing you're not supposed to do is not stop dating your significant other. Everybody knows that.
you're right, but these people have been together for 5 years. They're on a road trip and they're talking about these cutesy little things. They're, you know, in real life, they would have been like, "Oh shit, I almost feel like I left the stove on," you know, in New York when they're in Portland. You know, it's conversation that you wouldn't be having 5 years into your relationship.
It'd be more
See?
like
If it's a healthy one, you are just saying.
it'd be more like this. Can you slow down? Can you shut the fuck up?
Right.
That's where we're at after 5 years.
It'd be like a Bill Burr segment. Where did this come from? I don't know I don't know why you changed from 0 to 100 so quick. You know, but it's not. It's all these. Am I wrong, Ziggy?
Well, yeah, but it didn't annoy me as much as either. As you know what I mean? I hear you. I hear you. But I was more like, how are we going to get to point B? Is what I was looking at. You know, not. I understood that we were just killing time at that point. So.
Yeah, but if you're writing dialogue for a couple that's been around for 5 years, you put a little history in it. You don't just act like they're new dating people.
I
did
thought,
feel like a first date.
Who fucking hurt you, Crank? That's all I wanted.
Everybody hurt me at some point in time.
I actually dug the original's dilemma because it was a marriage proposal refusal.
Well, and I want to get into that a little bit
Yes,
later too, but yes, but I mean that makes a huge shift in tone.
There's tension between them already. It makes him a red herring, for fuck's sake.
I mean, the opening scene of the movie in the original is them sitting at a stoplight. She's got tears coming down her face, and he's just like gripping you could see the white of his fucking knuckles coming through on the steering wheel, waiting on the goddamn light to turn. And yes, boom, instant tension. That told something about that relationship that had been around for a while. This one, nope. So thank you.
Yes.
For kind of proving my point.
Yes, it's a beautiful.
I have a counter argument to your point.
Fuck
These
you,
two are
Colonel.
so-
God
just
damn
the
it. Why are
fucking-
you here?
Because I'm here to play devil's advocate. God damn it! You haven't had anybody play that in 2 fucking months. So I'm just bullshit on that one. But maybe they're so happy they have their fucking guard down and they're not paying attention because the character introductions have already been touched before. Jeff's a little bit of a fucking funny asshole. And Maya's there to clean up his fucking mess. That's their dynamic. It's like she kind of plays mom to him at a point too. Like, oh, I'm sorry, don't ignore him. She's always making up for her boyfriend. They're too involved with each other to pay attention to what's going around them.
Yeah.
Like Jeff might, but Maya is not.
I'll leave it at this. It just did not seem that realistic to me.
No, it didn't. But
No.
someone has to make a counter argument for all that shit.
Right. You see that, Frank? Without Colonel, we have.
Ask me again, Colonel, who hurt me?
I ain't asking you shit. Move on.
Ask me real quick.
Who hurt you?
You did, goddammit.
I know. I'll use more lube next time. I'm sorry.
Don't peg me without permission. Go. Huh? What? Huh? Baze, anything you want to add about the character
Oh my god.
before we go down this rabbit hole that's just gonna get us in trouble?
For God's sake. I've already pretty much said my piece about Jeff, but I already forgot her name. But she Maya? Maya. I don't know. I couldn't really gauge anything from her. She's just everything about her just seemed just written to be a horror victim. I guess. Just I don't know. If you were to ask me her personality, to list out her personality traits, I couldn't. So I don't know. I don't have any thoughts on her right now.
I could relate, man. She's a pothead.
Don't even get me started on that.
Huh?
Don't even get me started on that. Dude.
That was a weirdly handled scene. Following that.
Oh my god, some shit's going down. Like I gotta get high. And I'm like,
Love
you're
that.
just gonna make yourself even more fucking paranoid. She's not on Zigzag's level where
Yeah.
he said full THC. I gotta get level headed here. She's
Uh-huh.
ooh, it's even fucking worse.
Wait.
As
Oh,
Anthony
man.
Michael Hall said, chicks cannot hold they smoke. That's what it is.
Okay. Okay. Well,
It's not like
we're
that.
we're already jumping into Act 2, so go ahead, Colonel. Keep going.
Okay, so crazy shit's happening. Fucking Jeff. Okay. I gotta get my inhaler. So magically, there's a fucking motorcycle with keys and everything else. So he rides back to town, get his shit. She's left home alone, just listening to some old fucking Cream records and this and that. And she starts seeing some shit. All right, or is she? She don't know. So she's like, "Let me get high," because that seems like the most appropriate thing to do right now. I'm not going to investigate. I'm just going to get fucking stoned and make myself even more fucking paranoid. So,
Wait, that's what it is. That's what Ziggy just did. She's the Towley of this movie trilogy.
Let me get high first.
I think I just saw somebody in the house that shouldn't be here. Maybe I should get high.
well, it explains why she was playing Funky Town on the piano. Funky Town. No, she didn't. That's not a spoiler. And then we meet more. We get a break from the invasion shit. We meet more of the townsfolk. They look like they're having a pretty good time at a town for 480 people. For some reason, they have a 24-hour fucking burger joint open. That
Yeah.
okay, like that's not believable. That's like one of these believable things in the fucking
I know.
movie.
You
Well,
gotta
that
have
was also
you gotta have
most
your
part-
beer somewhere.
That was most of our crew from the diner as well that were out
Yeah,
there.
but if anybody's been in a small town, you know that shit shuts down at fucking 9 o'clock at night. The town's fucking
Yep.
dead.
It
So
was
that's like the least realistic thing in this entire fucking movie for me. And then we go back, more crazy shit's happening, which they're doing a good job of building that tension, like I mentioned before.
They do.
Zag's old and has a cramp.
I just banged my fucking arm on the fucking desk, dude.
Oh,
Man.
They just smoke a joint, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe I should get high.
maybe I should get.
Maybe I got too high and I lost my balance here. I don't know what's going on. Shit.
So,
I don't know what's going
so
on.
the
right
next
now.
best thing to do while we're on topic is, oh man, there's all kinds of crazy shit going on. I'm high. You know what? Let me take a shower and smoke another fucking joint.
Yes. Perfect thing to do.
Okay.
There might be people in the house. I'm gonna take a fucking shower.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And get high while I'm doing it. Again, I mean, I appreciate a good shower beer. I've never smoked a joint before getting in the shower.
It's great.
I'll be honest, because it doesn't give me that motivation. So that's what I think I want is warm water splashing on me while I'm high. It probably sober you up.
It's a buzzkill. That's what I was just gonna say. It sobers you right up if you get in the shower straight off a pot buzz. Do it.
Yeah,
Really?
I don't know the prices now, but
I'd
to me,
love
I'm
to.
like, that's a waste of $5 fucking because that's how much a joint cost back in my smoking days. Sure, doing inflation is probably like 20 now. But then
Depends on
more
where you
crazy
shop.
shit goes on. Like I said, spoiler alert, I can't say anything. Just crazy shit's going on. And again, they do a great job of building the tension. But yes, her getting stoned kind of took me out of it. Because that's the last thing I would want to do while all that shit's going on.
You know what took me out of this fucking movie? How that the helmet fit in perfectly like it was made for him. Wouldn't you expect it to be some old rickety ass fucking helmet hanging in the garage in the barn with the paint chipped off, or an Evel Knievel sticker on one fucking side if it's coming from that era? What's going on here?
I was
This thing is
expecting a
custom
fucking
fit.
bicycle helmet, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Like-
something else. No, this fucking perfect fit. It's like it's all modernized and everything. It's like, come on. The bike sounds good. There's no smoke or anything coming off it. It looks like it's 75 years old, but it runs like a fucking champ.
I know.
That shit bothered me, man.
Well, that's what happens when you take care of your vehicles, dude. They'll run fucking forever. Trust me, that's not the first engine on that fucking thing.
Fuck, dude. That whole thing with him leaving was just like, this is stupid. This is not working. Yeah, I mean, it's just
It was so planted.
well,
Yeah.
and just how. And then they started playing on the pot buzz like that, like Colonel's saying, you know, and I didn't like that because any pothead knows you don't hallucinate like that. If you fucking think you saw somebody, you fucking saw somebody. You better
Sure.
get to fighting, man. So,
Yeah, true, you don't hallucinate, but you get paranoid like a motherfucker.
granted, and
One
the
of the stages, like
legs through the fence kind of thing, through the glass, that was cool because he was all blurred out and you just saw the legs and it kind of blended in. That was cool. The full on standing in front of you, there's no hallucination there, man.
Well,
I
and
agree.
And the fact that it just goes like straight
Yeah,
straight
right.
into the camera. I'm like, I've never been high like that, but I know it doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's that shit the Lazy Angel does.
Yeah.
Right.
Find yourself in Debo's pigeon coop.
By the way, Erica says shower joints are
Erica, I'm with you. Only in this occasion. There's another one waiting when you get out because you're going to need to get high again. You're going to have to get high again after you use your towel.
yeah, and Joshua mentioned that. Don't forget to bring a towel.
Thank you, Joshua.
Did she smoke a joint in the original?
Shit, I don't
She
remember.
smoked.
Cigarettes.
She
A
just
cigarette?
smoked.
Yeah.
So but not marijuana? Because I've been feeling a lot in these movies lately. There's been a lot of weed in these movies, which kind of portends with, with it becoming legalized in a lot of states and more popular. Like,
She had one of them 1.5 gram fucking cannons too, man.
yeah, man. I think it's just kind of forced in there because weed's getting popular. That's just
Yeah,
kind of
because
my
it's
thought.
more popular.
You
more
know what it
legal.
was? They were driving across the United States. They get to Oregon. It's fucking legal. They probably stopped at a fucking shop. Oh
Sure.
my god, I could buy it. Let me get this and this and this. She didn't know what the fuck she was buying, man. She couldn't handle her shit.
The writers had probably never smoked before. It seemed like they never.
Well, why not stop at a weed store in the fucking redneck country? They're all doing the same shit. Just give us some more red herrings. They're all staring her down as they're in there. Why not?
Sure.
They
Make it
should have
work.
stopped. Yeah, they should have stopped at the weed store instead of that diner.
It's fine. Would have worked.
Could have been
Yeah.
the same thing.
Well, hey, we need some weed. Hey, pull off here. Dispensary. Carol's.
Yeah.
It's right.
Carol's
The
dispensary.
diner after. Yeah, whatever, man. But still, right. We
Carol's
can't.
dispensary and fried chicken.
That's right. Get it while you can. Open 48 hours.
Oh, good lord. All right. Who hasn't talked about Act 2 yet?
All three of you guys. Well, FaZe hasn't said much.
Ziggy, I don't know if he was done
Ziggy,
yet.
what was
I'm
your
done.
thoughts on the home invasion portion?
I didn't like the backstory. Like this, hey, we know this guy he hunts and he's there like August through September, but any other time it's an Airbnb. Here you go. It's all set. Just head on over. I mean,
Yeah, I got something to mention about that. I'm sure it'll come up next.
Because-
I believe.
we're a little familiar with the Airbnb process. It wouldn't be that anonymous like that, to me anyway.
Right. Well, and the fact that they're just kind of like, you're almost renting it like a hotel, in town. You can't really do that very, very often.
No,
So,
and
that
and,
seemed
and,
weird.
and the whole fact that connection, you know what I mean? And then what happens
Well,
later? We'll
it
get to
abs-
later.
It absolutely does seem like a complete setup. So,
Yeah.
which again is one of those things I'm not quite sure about with where they're going with this remake. But we'll see. And like Colonel said, I think we'll talk about that a little bit in Act 3. So, FaZe.
Yeah, I guess I'll mention the thing that initially, when they're in this Airbnb, the first thing that scares them is somebody knocks on the door really loud. They open it. It's like the shadowy figure. You can't really see their face or anything to them. It's just, a human-shaped figure in the shadows. But it looks like a kid. And they could tell it's a girl. I'm not really sure how, but they refer to it as a female. I think, she was wearing like a dress. I think they could tell that in the shadows. But
No, the voice too was very feminine.
the voice, yeah, that's true. And she was asking for somebody's name. I don't remember the name. Tamara. And they're like, there's no Tamara here. And go away. They close the door, and the kid would keep coming back and knocking on the door the same way and asking for Tamara. And, it's freaking girl out, but, dude just chalks it out. Just kids playing around, just a teenage kid, even though they're out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
It's just, I don't know. He goes to get his inhaler and stops at a burger joint, which he gets encountered. He has to go to his car to get his inhaler, and the auto shop guy encounters him. Like, did he have a gun, or was it
It was a
Tire
crowbar.
iron.
it was a tire iron?
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I would have smoked you if you were a thief. You should have called me first. He's like, sorry, fucking. So he goes back. He takes a motorcycle to the burger joint. You already talked about that.
Mhm.
Meanwhile,
Maya.
the lady Maya is back at home. She's getting harassed by one of the strangers. And by the time, like she hides out in the closet because I guess that's she's just scared. I guess I don't know. She just isn't thinking. She goes in the closet because she thinks that's the safest thing to do. And of course, they have this tense moment where somebody walks up and it's a fake out. It's actually boyfriend at the door.
Yeah.
So
Jeff.
it's Jeff. I will say though, I can't remember at what point they play it though. They play the song "Nights in White Satin." I really like that song.
Mhm.
It's a good pick.
Well, and they did have the records playing in this
There were
place
records,
like they did in 2008.
Sure.
A lot of what you just described takes place in the 2008 film as well. The girl looking for Tamara at the door.
Exactly the same.
Pretty much exactly the same. So, yeah. I don't have much to add on that too. It's just,
Yeah, I mean,
Just
it's
real
mediocre.
quick, one last thing to add about the invasion. We're going back before the invasion tactics kind of start.
Mhm.
The fridge is broken.
Yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
That's
Which
weird.
is a major plot point coming up.
Yeah.
yeah,
They call the Airbnb to fix it at what, midnight?
fucking
I'd be gracious. I say 10 p.m.
Okay, that's
9 or
not
10,
late.
Yeah.
because
9
when
or
she
10, I
was
would say.
stumbling around that when he went to get his inhaler, it was 2:21 on her phone when she was walking around flashlighting.
No, it
Okay.
wasn't.
Yeah,
I
and
didn't
then
know.
when he got to the burger joint, it was after fucking 2 a.m. too.
And that was open. That's crazy. Serving beer.
I'm telling you,
Sir.
in a town of 480 fucking people, that shit is non-existent.
They
What
fucking,
happened?
6 o'clock. They fucking closed on Friday.
All right. Before we get into Act 3, what did you think of the writing and direction of what we saw this weekend? I'll start with Colonel.
Who?
Colonel.
Oh, I didn't hear. I was like, what?
Ugh.
Yeah, it was okay. Like I said, the direction, like I said, they did a good job. It was more the director, the cinematographer. Like I said, building up the tension during the invasion. You didn't know. Like I said, you were with her looking for shit. They did a fucking awesome job with that. I will give them not a golf clap, an actual clap for keeping me drawn in during that.
Mhm.
Because it's hard to keep my attention like that for long. Like I said, the writing was lazy, but acceptable, if that makes sense. They were moving you along. They did a decent enough job to move the story along. Even to Crank's point, it's been done before, especially in 2008. Like it was better than Blumhouse. I'll say that. The writing was way better than anything Blumhouse put out so far this year.
Sure.
The visuals were way better, and the direction was better. I didn't feel like they used the How to Direct for Dummies manual.
No, Renny Harlin's a established director.
Yes.
He's a strong director.
Yeah,
And
he
he's
did
been
a great
around
fucking
for-
job.
Yeah, he's been around forever. So I really didn't have any problem with that. The writing, like you said, was lazy, very pedestrian. No surprises whatsoever when it came to the writing. That I've caught yet. Anyway, now prove me wrong with your 2 other movies that I'll probably have to go see. But yeah, the writing in this one was 90% a setup for the next 2 movies. Because there was even a foreshadowing moment that we did not get the payoff for in this movie. They said they did it with the piano, like you mentioned, with her playing Funky Town or whatever at one point, and then you hear it getting played again later. Good creepy moment.
Just real quick
Yeah.
before we go off the
Right.
piano, you might be able to help me with this. Obviously, it wasn't Funky Town. So I could have swore that was the same song Lestat played on the piano in Interview with the Vampire when he came out from the swamp before they burnt the house down and they traveled to Europe.
Well,
I
I
could have
can't
swore
remember.
that was the same fucking song, dude.
It
I
may
don't
have
know the
been.
name of it.
I don't remember what the song is. It is a very classic, very well-known classical tune. A little bit overused in films like this, which was I kind of chuckled when she started playing it. And my buddy like nudged me like, "Come on, man, you snob, you movie snob." I was like, "Fuck, dude, they use it in they use it all the time." He's like, "I know."
I know they do, but like, so that's why I was like, fuck. Like, literally, I was just thinking, pictured fucking Lestat playing. I was like, moo.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Maybe Moonlight Sonata. I think Moonlight Sonata is what he was playing in Vampire, if I remember correctly. But I could be wrong.
So crazy.
Yeah, the writing was lazy, but I think it was setting up stuff for the future films, which I get, and I can appreciate that. But now I have to wait 6 months for the payoff, maybe, or maybe a year, because I think the next one's due out in September, and they'll probably release the third one May of next year.
Wow.
Is what I understand as the plan of release.
It just says sometime next year.
Yeah. Well, I expect May.
You go too long, yeah, people forget.
Right, with that and beginning of summer. I'm pretty sure they've already probably got a date locked in. They just haven't announced it yet. The thing they didn't pay off though was at some point when she's messing around in the kitchen, she's trying to turn the lights on, and she turns on the garbage disposal. You guys caught that, right?
No, of course. Yeah.
I mean, that's clearly a foreshadowing moment, and nothing happens with the garbage disposal. So, like, where's my payoff? Oh, is it in the second movie or is it in the third movie? Something's coming, but, and I don't know. Like I said, I'm expecting most of these questions to be answered with a second and third movie, but we'll see. I have a feeling I can go ahead and throw this up because we are going to get into some spoilers here, folks. So be prepared for that. We are going to talk about Act 3, the finale. I'll start with Ziggy on this one. What did you think of Act 3?
Basically, what we have here is these guys kind of doing their best Michael Myers impersonations throughout leading up to the third act, where they're just stalking and they're in reflections of pictures and mirrors. And, she pops out here and there, but once they're on them and they're chasing them and actually stalking them, and the motorcycle gets set up, burned in flames right in front of them, and it's just that was a little bit, and but
the poor refrigerator repairman.
Well, that they said that was the owner. They're like, oh my God, that's the guy, that owns the house. And that, again, this was dumb because it was his buddy in the first one that he shoots. His old fucking buddy that was there to pick him up.
That was there to get him out of the difficult situation of being stuck in a house with the girl that just said no to his marriage proposal.
Dude, how Night of the Living Dead that was compared to this, which was just like a nothing kill. It was so fucking pointless. So very, very dumb.
Right.
And
you didn't care about it. There was no emotional weight to it.
No, there's no emotional weight. And let's be honest, which Airbnb owner is going to show up at 3:30 in the fucking morning to fix your fridge?
Right. Especially when you're checking out the next day when your car is fixed.
Yeah.
Like, hey, thanks for calling me at 2:00 in the morning about this, but I'll deal with it later.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm holding my phone like this because I'm old.
Because you're old.
My fucking face is blown off now. God damn it.
Colonel, Act 3.
Act 3. Like I said, again, the Airbnb owner getting fucking blasted in the face was kind of funny.
With a shotgun, we should add.
With the shotgun.
We were talking about cream pies earlier.
Yeah, so he cream pied his face with a fucking buckshot.
No, that's not okay.
Okay, it was a money shot on his face with buckshot. Because that was the money shot of the fucking movie when it came to special effects, sadly enough. Act 3 was your typical Act 3, man. There's a lot of fucking cat and mouse. I mean, some parts were like, there's one part with my head in a pretty good fucking spot, honestly. But it's a horror movie, so of course she's going to have to fucking move and give her location away. And if she just would have fucking chilled till sunrise, she'd probably been all right. So it's that good of a fucking spot. I was like, that's pretty smart. Then Jeff's running around like he's a fucking badass. Probably never shot a gun in his fucking life, obviously, because they were being one guy to fucking make it. But this is like I said, this is the point where I was kind of checking out. Where I'm like, okay, you've been doing this. Let's hurry it up. You've been doing the stalking. You've been doing the cat and the mouse for the past 45 fucking minutes. I'm ready for my payoff. And there, we already said spoiler.
Yep.
There really is.
It's like the same shit as before, man.
Yeah, it really was the same shit as before. It just. It was a fucking letdown, I'll be honest. Like, it was a fucking letdown. Like, at least leave me on a good fucking cliffhanger. Like X-Men 97 did. But they couldn't do it. Like, they built up no excitement for me for Chapter 2 at the end of this.
Well, but
It's like,
all this was set up for Chapter 2, though.
it was too much. Exactly.
That's what I had to take with this was they did the movie again. They got the same one. They liked that one back then. But we got to get our own people in it. And now we can take it where we want to take it with our people. If that's what they did and they blow us away with the next two, all right. Then I'm all for it for the retelling.
But do you see my point where they could have done maybe a new trilogy, just tacked on to the old one and reshot the ending with the new actors and then go from there? You didn't have to reshoot the whole fucking movie again. In my opinion.
To me, it seems like a filmmaker decision, continuity. You know what I mean? A detailed guy just said, we got to do it this way. And they went, all right.
And they wanted to change a little bit of the backstory of the main characters, I guess.
For the worse.
Make it fit now. But,
for the worse.
Yeah, whatever.
We'll see where they go. We got to give them the fucking benefit of the fucking doubt now.
Well, of course we have to see where they go. That's all they fucking gave us, man. After 90 fucking minutes.
This is a good point that's made in the comments. Paula says, how do you spoil a remake?
Fair.
Well, in this one, you really can't. Like,
unless you've never seen the first one.
True.
So
there.
Yeah. Act 3, the payoff, like Colonel said, not really there. There was a way to write this with more of a cliffhanger. So there is a cliffhanger, but there's a way to have written this that had more at stake, I guess. Sure. Like we said earlier, I didn't care that the owner got, there was no connection to the characters, no connection. We never seen this guy. Now, if he had been in the diner at the beginning and been like, hey, you know what?
Place for you?
I got an Airbnb. It's I don't have listed because I'm cleaning it up right now, right before hunting season, and I'm gonna be staying there for a few months. If you wants it, I'll cut you a good rate. If that guy had been in there, if that guy had been in the, oh wait, no, I gotta get I'd cut you a good rate. There we go. If that guy had been in the diner, I'm down.
That helps.
I'm down.
That helps a little bit.
Yeah, but since he's some faceless guy that just walks up to fix a fucking refrigerator, it means nothing to me when he's gone. So, wait, what?
I mean, when we're talking about the finale, I'm gonna go back to the beginning of the fucking film.
Okay.
They're chasing a dude through the fucking woods. You see some familiar spots, and by the time you get to the finale, you're like, oh. So it's like spoiler, they've done this before. They're not the first people they sent to this fucking cabin in the woods.
And they use this house. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
His poster's hanging in the fucking diner.
It's one thing I want to mention.
Yeah.
It's that fucking shotgun. Like, these strangers should know this lay of the land pretty well. Like, why would they leave a shotgun lying around for their victims to just grab? It's like they were always kind of fucking with them. Like, they were kind of into the hunt. Like, they didn't just want to immediately kill these people because there were many times where they could have killed them and they just didn't. But I don't know, just the fact there was a convenient ass shotgun. Just, hey, I got a shotgun.
Well,
Plenty of ammo.
He
Dude,
did,
I'll
have,
be
to,
honest,
he did have to find it, though.
Yeah, but like,
they had to find it, and I think they left it there on purpose because when it could have been used, it wasn't used. They're probably thinking most of these people aren't going to do it. They ain't got the balls to fucking do it.
that's quite the gamble to make. But all right,
I don't.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
these people
know
gamble
about
the whole time. Will it shock you that they did leave to have that kind of gamble like that? These people get off on this shit.
maybe because there is one thing. Like, there was that one lady, spoiler alert, who was, when he was encountering her with the shotgun, she was grabbing it and screaming, almost like she wanted him to pull the trigger. So it's almost like she wanted him to. Like, maybe she planted it, you know? Like, but then other dude comes in and stops him because he's stupid and didn't press the trigger because he wanted to be a badass. Be like, oh, you know how the first kill is the hardest? You're my second.
No.
Which that was the lamest fucking line in the whole movie, dude.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, your first kill was an accident, hot shot, like, and then, like I said, if I'm fighting for my life, I'm not going to go Bond villain and explain how I've killed one person.
Dude, right?
Like, I'm just going to blast you in the fucking face and get the fuck out.
Boom. Yeah.
God, no kidding.
For that guy gets the ultimate. Sucked.
That sounds like a regular Friday night for Colonel on the dating scene. I'm just going to blast you in the face and get it over with.
God damn.
That's right. Toss a towel on their face and clean yourself up.
Don't forget to bring a towel.
That's right. You want to get high?
You want to get high?
Call back to the towel, man. Wow.
Hey, if we're
Brilliant
nothing,
tonight, boys. Brilliant.
if we're nothing, we're great with
work.
callbacks. So, all right. Rick wants to know. I know you guys aren't doing the OG BS remake gimmick with this one, not yet. My thought on that is let's wait until all three of them are out, and then we do original versus remake episode. That will be the review we do when the third one's out. So
I can't hate this as much as the fog, but I mean,
no. But he wants to know: do you think this improved on the original?
No.
I'll answer that. No. Not yet. Not yet.
not yet.
I'm going to say yes. No, I'm not. This one, it's too similar to the original. You're comparing fucking tomatoes to tomatoes, man. Like, it's the same fucking thing.
And you
Just
change
pronounced a little differently.
the dynamic. You change that proposal rejection. You change that shit, that heavy shit, man.
We're
Yes.
almost there. We're almost there.
They changed it, but it didn't matter.
Jolene wants to know. It also didn't even matter that he found the gun because he was a dumbass.
Yeah.
Correct.
Facts.
But the Scott Speedman's character in the first one didn't really know how to use a gun either. So
True that. Yeah, hey, to the both of them, man.
Should have just stuck with the fucking garden hoe, man. That's all I'm saying.
all right, we've talked about differences and similarities a little bit throughout this already. Zigzag pointed out one of the biggest ones already. Yeah, that shift in tone from
Terrible.
a happy couple traveling, happy, been together 5 years, still acting like it's our first week together. Cutesy.
Don't be a hater, Frank. Don't be a hater.
It was a terrible choice for two characters. That's all I'm saying. But going to that from I just turned down your proposal, you're stuck with me for the night, take me home and leave me alone. And a complete different shift in tone for the entire movie to come. And That was one of the worst changes. It didn't have to be the same disappointment, but there should have started with some kind of conflict between the two main characters before they got even to the house, and not just a, you know, maybe it could have been, why couldn't we have stopped at some place on the highway? No, we got to drive 10 minutes off the road to get into town. I could have done some Taco Bell, but no, you got to get diner food, local diner food.
Well, to be fair, like I said, there was conflict, if that's what we want to call it. So remember, she was asking Jeff, if I get this job, are you going to move from Chicago to Oregon to Portland with me? And he wasn't very committed to that, even though he said he would. But, you know, that Jeff, you just can't trust him. He obviously has commitment issues. He didn't even ask her married for 5 years. But again, that's such a minimum fucking conflict, and it didn't mean anything after the act one any fucking way.
No.
It was like a throwaway argument, and then done.
Yeah. Colonel, any other differences and similarities that you wanted to point out?
Like you guys, the different dynamic changed the tone of the movie. For this one, I'll say even for the worse, actually. But like I said, we touched that. I'm not going to go any further than that. I don't know about you guys. I found the trio a little more frightening in the original than I did in this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot did play because that tone, the tension was already there from the get-go. This, we didn't get tension till Act 2. Like, I think it changed. They weren't as, like I said, they weren't as scary, man. It's like they were scary, but the first movie, they were a hell of a lot scarier.
Well, and one thing that we've touched on this, but one thing I think is going to be a difference that is pointed out with more clarity later is in this one, like we mentioned, it seems like they've done this at this house before. Or no, they have done this at this house before, for sure. But we don't know exactly what the situation is there, what the stakes are with that. In the original, the trio drives off. You know, they leave town. And they stop and they see the religious kids walking towards the house. And I love this scene at the end of the first one. They stop and, either Pinup Girl or Dollface, I can't remember which one it is, gets out of the truck, goes around and asks the kid, can I have one of those? And takes a little brochure from her, or from one of the kids, and gets back in the truck. And you hear the other girl, either Dollface or Pinup Girl, you hear the other girl say, the next time will be easier. And they drive down the road, and that's the last you see of them. That is a chilling way to end that. Here, it's going to be like, it's their Hunger Games,
Mm-hmm.
If we find somebody that, if some town boy comes into our town, we're going to take him out to this place and we're going to kill him. I'm not sure I'm going to like where they're going with this. I'm going to give it a shot, but
like
don't like it already.
Like you're kind of saying there, comparing the two, that's another huge difference.
Yeah.
The first one, you believed it was just by fate. Like, you literally, no, there's home, let's fucking kill him. This one, it's a setup. Like, we've been talking the whole movie. It's a fucking setup.
Right.
That changes the tone of the movie as well. It's, like I said, doesn't feel as realistic. Like, well, shit, this could fucking happen. Like the first one did.
It's more like The Hunt.
Yes.
Or even kind of The Purge, in a way.
Yeah, it's grounded in that reality. I mean, that's what this whole thread and why this whole genre works. This segment of this reality, real people fucking with real people, no supernatural element at all, just twisted. And it's cool, but I mean, you guys are right, man. It doesn't have the same reality to it that the original did this way. even though it looks a lot cleaner, and these killers are more brooding, I think at points. You know, I mean, the way they come at you and stuff. The masks are pretty much identical, wouldn't you say? Pretty much the same.
They're
on
pretty
point?
close.
Pretty
Yeah.
damn close. Especially the sackhead guy. He looks the same.
I
He's
can't
more-
remember. I can't remember if the sackhead guy in the new one had like the seams that went right down.
I think
Both
his scenes
sides.
were a little bit more off, like to the side.
Were they? I couldn't remember. You know,
Well, at least based on that poster.
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to. I can't see that.
And I'm, you know, I was trying to look at the builds of certain strangers
Mhm.
because of what we saw at the diner in the beginning.
Mhm.
So, and I can't say I saw a couple of ones that I thought I would see. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in 2 and 3. That's all we can do here, man.
Well, the man in the mask looks a little bit bulkier than the
we
one
say
that.
No, not yet. Let's figure it
Let's-
out. I'm just going to say, if they can have a girl that's 5'1" turn into 6'6" and scream 5, they can make somebody a little bit bulkier in the strangers. Like
Yeah.
you say.
That's true. But for a movie that tries to be grounded in reality, that would again be something that takes you out of it. And I don't like that. Would this movie have been effective now if you hadn't seen the original?
Phase.
Phase.
I mean, I'm still not sure if I have. Just not remembering it at all. It might as well have been, a fresh viewing.
Mhm.
Not really. I mean, it just makes me too curious about what the original was because everyone keeps saying it was better. Like,
Well,
I should have told my buddy to message in and
if he
Nolan,
wants-
if you're, I don't think he's watching, but Nolan, if you're watching, let me know what you thought of this, since you hadn't seen the original before.
there's just too much weird
Okay.
shit, and I didn't like the main characters at all. So it just, I don't know.
if
I
we
did
did
not end up liking it.
if we did not have the original Strangers, though, this would have been pretty good. Like, for the first time around, I think.
Yeah.
It does have its tense moments, and it does have its stalking moments.
Sure.
Michael Myers moments, if you want to say. Because there's
I
a
would
lot
still-
of them.
I would have still complained about the characters being too cutesy, but I wouldn't necessarily complain about there not being a dark moment in their romance at the beginning of the movie, because we wouldn't have had that to contrast it with. So,
Major
That's right.
mistake.
He would still hate it, but not as much.
I've yet to say I hate this movie.
No, I'm not talking about the movie. I'm just talking about their romance.
I
The
would hate
relationship.
I would hate the relationship, yeah, but not as much. All right. Dun, 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 dun.
Y'all are being quiet out there in the comment section tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure that many people went to see this one.
Yeah, we didn't see this
Yeah.
one early. Maybe we should start waiting a fucking week before we do these here.
Nah.
Give
No,
people
All right.
fees.
then we
This
lose.
one, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
So if we wait a week, everybody's already talked about it by then.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
If we
true.
wait a week, then it's no one's talking about it. This. I will say this. This had the biggest opening weekend of any horror film this year so far,
Really.
and only did 12 million.
Jeez, that's kind of pathetic.
Yeah. Well, but it's already, because the budget for this one was 8.5, so it's already broke its money. So
But also,
I
to be
guess-
honest, too, like the theatrical releases, what kind of competition has this movie really had this year so far? I mean,
so far, yeah.
Wait,
like Abigail to me is like Abigail and Lisa Frankenstein. We're talking two brand new IPs. That's where this is, established franchise. Of course, this is going to make more money.
Maxine's gonna dominate when that comes out.
Oh
Wait.
yeah,
boom.
Late Night with the Devil was good too.
yeah, that dig is a limited release. Yeah, you're right.
I saw it in theaters. Fuck.
I don't know. That's why I said it got a limited release. I didn't.
Didn't make much money though because of the limited status.
There we
Right.
go.
It made a couple of million, I think.
Grizzly says, did not see it, but to tell the truth, this is not one that I was looking forward to this year. I get that. And I'm pretty sure that's what, may have kept a lot of you out of seeing it this week.
Sure.
Because you expected it to be a damn near shot-for-shot remake of the original. And it was. It wasn't, but it was close enough to irritate you.
As a
You're right.
as a fan of slashers, it placated me. I felt like I ate the meal. You know what I'm saying? I walked out like, at least I'm full. I don't know if I really, really liked it that well. It wasn't my favorite, but it still did. It touched all the boxes that you want to see. Aside from the bloody violence, there's not a lot of blood in this one.
No, there's
See,
not.
that's been my issue with 2 of the 3 Strangers movies already. They're made like slashers, but they're like slasher light. You really don't. There's really not that payoff like you get in slashers. Like, get my fucking rocks off watching these. Like, I literally have to wait till the fucking end. You have one death until the end. It's like, just
It sucked.
Well, I guess we can kind of say there's only 3 kills in this movie. The
Yeah.
guy,
Third,
I'm
right?
aware of.
Oh, yeah.
the missing guy,
The
at the
Airbnb
beginning.
owner.
the Airbnb owner, and then
The other difference and similarity that I hated, because the other one had it's way more of a mind fuck shooting your own friend in the first
Right.
one.
right, yeah, that definitely had, especially since he calls him and leaves him a message and says, "Hey, come and get me. I don't want to be here. This did not
Sure.
work out the way I planned."
That's so heavy.
Well, and dude, the fact that he goes back to this house that he's decked out in all this romantic bullshit, candles, roses in the fucking bathtub and everything, and she's like, "I'm gonna get fucking laid tonight," and then he's like, "Well, no, I guess I'm not. I'm gonna die."
Now he's like, no. Before he's going to die, he's like, now I got to go to my buddy's house and jerk off to his Laura Croft action figure.
That's right.
Film on his mom.
That's right.
Oh, sorry, wrong movie.
Different movie.
Better
All right.
movie. Grandma's
Well-
Boy. Watch
I
it.
love Grandma's Boy.
Mhm.
We know it's happening because they planned it this way, but sequel potential. Yes, this has clearly got a sequel.
Yeah, it did, but to be continued, for crying out loud.
Yeah, it ended saying to be continued. Again, we've said it before. We'll say it again. Spoiler alert. For those of you that don't want to know anything, we're talking about the very end of the movie now. But the post or mid-credit scene that comes up is her in a hospital, Maya in a hospital,
Survives.
recovering, and the man in the mask is lying in the bed with her.
Yep. She sits up. He's right there. He sits up. Black screen.
Which, to be fair, that wasn't original either, man. Like, I'm like, again, you just totally ripped off Friday the 13th Part fucking 5. Like, the fuck?
Well, now the 2008 Strangers ends with the kid or the kids, the religious kids walking
Creepy
in,
kids. Yeah.
right, and they find Liv Tyler's character on the ground, blood covered. They see all the carnage around.
Right.
We know the kid calls 911 because of the beginning of the movie, but Liv Tyler springs to life at the very end. Like,
It's the best jump scare of the movie.
it's the best scare of the movie. Absolutely. And this, we knew there was a sequel coming, so it's hard to kind of set it up. I almost wish they hadn't said chapter 1. I wish they would have just left it at the Strangers right now, because everything about this movie, I'm sitting there and analyzing, and even just watching it, I'm thinking, oh, that might actually feed over nicely into the next one. I'm thinking about the next 2 movies, and I shouldn't be. I should not be.
Well, if it makes you feel better, my dumbass didn't do any research going and seeing this, realizing that it was a trilogy. So even I was like,
The title says chapter 1.
It doesn't matter. I was thinking, okay, it could have been a prequel to the original Strangers. Like, I did no research. Like, I found it better to do no research going into these fucking movies, man.
There are some movies that are better that way, for sure.
And just, yeah, I was like, okay, it's going to take place before the first Strangers. It's like, that's what I was thinking. But like you said, I'm starting to think, like, man, this ain't setting up, like, this ain't right. Like, it didn't feel good.
I will say this, though. The strangers going to the hospital after Maya? I mean, call it Halloween 2-ish if you want, but that could be a fucking bloodbath, man. That could be interesting.
It fucking better be at this point.
Absolutely.
I believe
You're right.
we will see some original storytelling about the Strangers with these next two movies.
Yes.
Because these filmmakers are too seasoned not to just to come and give us the fucking reprint of the first fucking film and, oh, well, there's some, they're going to put this all together. I don't know why, man, but I just believe that we're going to be happy at the end of these three.
I think 2 is going to be like, it's a bad comparison, but I think 2 is going to be like the Empire Strikes Back version. You know, it's going to be balls to the wall. You know. You got that? Nice.
Oh yeah, check it out.
Oh, that's
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
That better be really cold.
It is.
Carbonite.
But no, I think 2 is going to be. Maybe I'm setting myself up for disappointment.
Oh,
but
yes.
I think 2 is going to be balls to the wall craziness. I just really do. And I think 3 is going to go back to the house and start another, almost like you thought you got away from us, but you didn't. Now the real game begins. And it's just going to be like a toying with her kind of situation again. By 3, we'll know who they are, probably, too.
Dude, I hope you're right, man, because with the Halloween trilogy fucking ruined me when it comes to big studio trilogies, man. Like, I'm just like, I don't know. The potential's there for it to be really fucking good. Like, if it plays out the way you explained it, I'd be happy. I just keep thinking Halloween kills, Halloween ends. Like, they ruined me. This might be a good enough trilogy to break it out of me. Now, of course, again, I said mainstream trilogies.
This isn't
excluding
Blumhouse.
the Terrifier trilogy, but
This isn't Blumhouse.
Yeah.
I know it's not Blumhouse, but it's Lionsgate.
Yeah,
It's above Blumhouse.
They're right there.
But
Tomato.
Tomato.
Oh man.
The one thing that I'm not looking forward to in the sequel, but they've already said they're going to explain, but we're supposed to find out who Tamara is and why that's significant.
Sure.
So that pisses me off because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who she is. She in the first one, she probably isn't anybody. It's probably just a name.
so now I'm thinking she's the one that got away. And I'm not saying that to be fucking funny. I'm just like,
No, yeah.
And Tamara could make a return in 3, or maybe Tamara's stuck on the property somewhere.
Maybe
Maybe
she
she
was the
didn't get
waitress.
away. She's just being toyed with. I don't need to know who Tamara is, though, especially from the first one. You know, that was a great just introduction, or a way to get the door open. You know, so
Those
Crazy.
motherfuckers opened the door to knocking way too easily. Like, the woman had the thought to look through the peephole. Motherfucking dumbass just opens the door right up. Hey, what up?
well, and like Ziggy said, I guess it was like close to 2 in the morning. You
Yeah.
know, in the first one, it's 4 in the morning.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
I'll have a bat. I'm answering my door at
Yeah.
time.
Sure. If they're knocking that fucking loud, like, nah.
Bare minimum.
Dude, you got it bad. I'm just going to open the doors, fucking stroking it. Ain't nobody going to come in there and see that.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Phase, what about you? Are you looking forward to the sequels?
I'll check them out, I guess.
I don't know why I said it like that.
I don't know.
Chaz.
I'm surprised that they did it this way. I mean, you know, I'll am I looking forward to them? No. If I'm just gonna be blunt, like I'm curious to see where they're going, I guess, but like I'm not like on the edge of my seat waiting for it. You know, I'll check it out when it comes out.
Hopefully, this is the surprise of the year.
Sure.
Part 2.
I'm interested in 2 for sure.
All right.
But like I said, I don't, man.
I'm more interested in checking out the original right now, I guess.
Watch it again, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the same thing though. I told my buddy, give it a couple days. Don't go like too quick into it.
It's already been a couple days, so yeah, it's all right.
You're good. Jolene points out an interesting point. The man in the mask being beside her in the hospital might be a nightmare she has waking up.
All right. I'm all right with that.
That's a good take.
Can't rule it out. Yeah.
Potentially, but man, I want that Halloween 2 style bloodbath with this.
Sure.
I think that would be, if you've got those 3 or maybe more stalking Maya in a hospital,
I'd be into that.
Whoever gets in the way. And this trilogy is only supposed to take place over like 4 days, like in story time. So,
man, you know something? I just had a fucking thought here. Going back to those kids handing pamphlets out and shit. I think we're all on the same page that the town knows what's up.
Yeah.
I think some of the town knows what's up.
It kind of makes sense that when Jeff went to that burger joint, they're like, hey, man, why don't you sit down and have a drink with us? I think they knew what was going on. It was like, you know what? Stay here for a little bit.
Keep him out of the action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe.
Because even she tried to give him a pamphlet at the burger joint, like, here, take this.
I already got one.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of a hot take too. I think there might be 2 men as strangers. I think there might be at least 2 of the men in the masks. I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but
That would explain one of my theories.
well, one of my theories is possibly that the owner that got blasted was one of them. So
Yeah, because they really didn't show you a good look. I mean, they said no mask, but
he had masks in the closet.
it's true.
right. Right.
Wow.
Anyway.
See that, folks? We're unraveling this motherfucker. We're giving you part before you even know it, man.
We're giving you part 2 and 3 right now, motherfuckers. Here we go, gang. Final thoughts and ranking. Ziggy, I'll start with you.
Essentially, we're really not going to know if we needed this movie until we see the other 2.
Yeah.
At least the second one.
That's why I don't even have that question on here for this.
Yeah. There's much worse out there than this. It's shot pretty good. Again, it's a talented it's a crew that knows what they're doing to shoot properly. You got to look at every crevice of the fucking screen to see where the strangers are popping in because they're there a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking cool that way. I did dig that a lot.
There were a lot of good shots like that.
And a lot of reflexive shots that are just neat. I mean, I know they did that in the first one too, but a little creepier this time out, I think. It's a decent tale, man. You know, it does piss me off that they changed those couple of things, and that makes it not as good of a tale. But again, we just don't know where they're going with it. So, for that reason, I'm going to go with a 6. 6 on this movie.
Damn, that high, huh? Oh, I wasn't talking about the score. I was talking about you. You that high.
Go ahead,
Vote for
Colonel.
me, sir.
All right, so this is Phases directing. I'll give my final thoughts and ranking. Like I said, overall, I enjoyed the film. Maybe not as much as the original, but I'll be honest, I'm not a giant fan of the original either. I still stand by Strangers 2 Pray at Night being the best one I've seen so far. Granted, that's me being a little bit crankish because it was filmed in the Cincinnati area, so I'm like, oh, I've been there. So that helps it. Like I said, they did certain things right. They did.
And by the way, Colonel has been there. He has a filming locations video. Right.
No, remember, because I had you take it down because I thought it was shit. Because remembers, and during COVID, and the park ranger is bugging me like, "Hey man, I need you to wrap it up. We're about to close." I'm like, "Well, this is the pool where they got in the fight." And
Did I actually take it down?
Yeah, you did. Well, if you did, it's not listed in Colonel's Crypt list, and there's only like 4 of them.
Never mind.
So it may get a re-release based on this, which we might, because fuck it, why not? I'll take those cheap views. But no, like I said, they did a good job building the tension, setting up. Again, the cat and mouse game got a little fucking old. It ran way too long. And yeah, there's just, again, more questions and answers at the end of this film. Again, my dumbass didn't do the research to realize it. Even after talking with these guys, it still doesn't help it. But I left the theater somewhat satisfied. Like Zag, I'll give it a 6.
Faze, how about you?
All right. Well, I don't know. I can't really add too much to that, but
Craig,
okay.
what are you doing?
I didn't do it.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't do it. I was trying to cough. I was trying to mute myself so I could cough.
Oh my god. Well, anyway, I mean,
Damn it, Ziggy.
I don't know. I was kind
That's not me.
Jesus
Would
Christ.
you fucking okay? Let
What
him
the
let him
fuck,
talk.
Frank?
I was kind of thinking a 6 as well, but like, dude annoyed me so much with the line at the diner, the line while he had the shotgun to her face, and also how he kept trying to play hero all the time. It probably brings it down to a 5.5 for me just for him alone. But
You didn't like him at all, huh?
I really did not know, like, at all. Like, Renny Harlin's directing was good. That's kind of the only thing saving this movie, especially in the creepier parts in Act 2. But, like, I don't know. It's just, 5.5 for me. That's where I'm going to leave it.
What was yours, Colonel?
6.
6.
I didn't hate this movie, but I think if I had not seen the original ever, and I'm kind of like Colonel, I'm not a huge fan of the original. I appreciate it for what it was. I do adore some of the, film shot choices that they did in the original, especially with the strangers hiding out in the background. This gets mirrored a lot doing it here. Not quite as well, but differently. But man, it's hard to give a rating to this because there's so much more to come. Hopefully. So I'm gonna be safe right now. I'm just gonna say a 6 as well. But I will preface it with this. I don't think if you haven't seen this in the theater, don't rush out.
That's fair.
But I would say watch it on streaming before part 2 comes out, and then make up your mind if you want to go and see part 2.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm with Crank on that one. Usually I say go to the theater, support horror, blah, 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 blah. This one, though, it's like legit, like, just wait till it hits Vudu, pay the $20, save yourself some money, pop some popcorn at home, and just fucking watch it in the dark.
especially if you're a fan of the original, definitely don't go to the theater. But yeah, I'll give this a 6 too. I thought I was going to go a little bit higher than that, but I really can't. What would you give the original, Colonel? Just out of curiosity.
probably about maybe a 6.5 for
Really?
originality. Again, I'm just really not that much of a fan, dude. Like,
I would give the original a 7.5. So
7.
7. How about man? Phased up? No.
Ask me later.
I'll ask you later.
Just because they did those things better. Again, the fucking the no on the marriage and the best friend getting
Right.
shot.
Right.
Right there is worth the point.
Yeah, there's a point at least. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. 6, 6, 6, 5.5.
Number of the beast.
Yep. You guys are the number of the beast this week.
Oh shit! Ooh, yeah. I better go 6.5 then.
You're not superstitious like that.
No, I'm not. Are
Where
you
were
kidding?
we at?
Of course, I'm not. I tipped some poor waitress at
Yes.
a diner 666, and she was
Yes.
Oh,
like,
that's true.
"Nope."
She said no. That's true.
She said, "Make it 1 penny more or 1 penny less."
She did, and she did make him do it.
He was serious.
That was
We're from the
hysterical.
South, though, man. That's the Bible Belt.
What the hell are you thinking, though, doing a 666 on there?
Dude, it came out to like 13.34. It was perfect.
It would have been an even amount. Yeah, like he's
You
right.
paid it $19 or $20 or something.
I made it exactly $20. The math fucked me. I didn't fuck it.
She is not having it.
Anyway, there you go, folks.
Yeah.
Strangers, Chapter 1, in the books. All right, gang, again, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, as always. We appreciate you coming in. One last time, want to thank our final girls and guys, Chris, Lorena, BD. Happy birthday, BD, and Tyrone. Our Crazy Ralphs, Bell's Fancy Creations, Dr. Smiley, Raymond, and the whole damn enchilada pod. And, of course, our camp counselors, 42nd Street Pete, Corey, Luke, Jimmy and Rachel, Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Patricia, Kristen, and JJ.
All right. Back up to the top.